Hey, welcome back to the Ready State. Here we are still in the shutdown, in the predicament, and I want to give you guys 3 different tools to open up your hips. Now, one of the things that's happening is that because we're not walking as much, potentially, we're not going outside as much, we may not be exposing our hips to their normative ranges of motion, or at least exposure to positions that we know are really, really crucial to hip health, low back health. And if there's one thing that I'm going to have you add into your program during the day while you're sort of in this lockdown position is getting in some additional hip extension. And I'm talking about loaded hip extension. So I'm going to give you 3 different tools. The first one we've talked about before, and it comes from our friends at The Secret of Athleticism. And what I want you to do is just every once in a while, and this is so easy to take a little minute break, I want you to try to get your knee behind your butt. That's the only goal, knee behind the hip. And then I want you to come up on your toe in the front and have all of your toes contact the back. So don't turn the foot out. Practice getting that foot straight. So you have to almost work to internally rotate the leg to have the foot straight. Don't do some kind of crazy Olympic lifting weird thing. That's not good Olympic lifting either. But in this position, I want all those toes connected so you can push in the ground. And then I want you to squeeze your butt and just drop down a little bit. The idea here is to try to stay in a little bit longer lever position. So I'm not in a hyper bent position. I'm trying to work on the leg in this longer open shape. And I'm just going to squeeze my glute with a little butt tap here, rib cage down, and just try to take some breaths here. And what you're going to feel is whatever is stiff is stiff. So just spending 10 breaths here. If you want to hold something, you can. You don't have to. But what I want you to do is just appreciate that we're working on balance, we're working on hip extension, we're loading. And what's nice about coming up on the toe, not only is it going to work your balance system, but it's going to fire up this rectus femoris and this anterior line, which locks the pelvis into position so you have a more powerful hip extension. If you're flat, you'll see that you don't quite get the same effect. So up on this toe, from our friends at Secret of Athleticism, it's a great, great drill for fascia, for foot health, for connective tissue, but we're going to work on this for balance. So that's number 1. Take 5 breaths there, whatever. Set a clock. Trying to give you some options. Number 2 comes from our friends at Eldoa. And what I want you to do is notice what a different position this is all of a sudden. Suddenly I'm in a short lever position, leg is open, but I'm more bent. I'm going to bring the rib cage down, squeeze the butt, and I'm just going to move forward. So instead of just hanging and going to full banana back, rib cage stays down. You can put your hands here, squeeze your glute, and don't worry about getting this knee far behind your hip. It'll go as far as your glute will allow. So if you're short or stiff or don't have good control or can't control the butt, you just won't go very far. And what I want you to do is just hang on that tissue stiffness, but keep your hands low so you don't go all overextended. So just leaning forward and then you're just hanging. It's like you're hanging on your tissues, and I can't go any further than this. And what I'm going to do, again, is just work on taking some big breaths here. So just a little bit different way of loading. We're not loading the whole anterior line of the leg. It's not quite in the same weight-bearing vein, a little bit more specialized, but this is so easy to drop in. All I want you to do, again, foot is straight or slightly, you can almost internally rotate this a little bit or at least get it straight. Squeeze your butt as hard as you can, lean on that front leg, and you just feel like I can't go any further. My butt is stopping me. If I turn my butt off, I can drift forward. So I just hang on there. And again, think about building up to 20 or 30 seconds, a little different break. Last one, best one, my favorite. First time I became aware of this end range isometric was Adam Archuleta working with Jay Schrader, super old school throwback for those super coach nerds out there. Dude, the Bulgarians, the Russians, everyone has been doing some kind of elevated squat forever. Jay Schrader took it and just said, hey, let's do some end range isometrics here as a value. So leg goes up on a couch, boom, jump out, and then keeping your butt as hard as you can. You can change your position, but only thing that I want you to worry on is what's going on with my foot. If you want to come up onto the toe, you can, but I want you just to squeeze your butt as hard as you can. Try to get your torso as upright as you can and drive as much load into the back leg as you can. So this one is all about the back leg. You can be here and be like, it's not so bad, Kel, I got this. But I want you to try to drive that arm of that couch into the ground and breathe, and then just, if you want to go to end range and hang here, you can do it. You want to do it higher, it doesn't matter. At some point, you're going to stop. Butt is squeezed, rib cage on, still taking full breath. Go until you die. 3 different ways of improving, keeping an eye on, maintaining native hip extension. Guarantee you, your hips will feel better, your back will feel better, and when this thing ends, boom, you hit the road, ready to go. We are shut in, not shut down. See you guys soon.